start by saying thank you all for making it to the end. You all are you're the best. Okay, so I want to start by saying thank you to all of our sponsors. They've been announced several times, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of read that list one more time real quick. So thank you to EBSCO, thank you to Canvas, thank you to Flat World, thank you to Kaltura, thank you to FIU Online, thank you to Lumen Learning, thank you Panopen, thank you PSI, thank you Proctorio, thank you Springer Nature, thank you SpringShare, thank you HonorLock, thank you Ex Libris, thank you Adiga, I probably said it wrong, thank you McGraw-Hill, and thank you Game Coach. We appreciate you, and without you, this conference or this summit would not be possible. So we appreciate you, and we encourage your participation again next year. I also want to say thank you to the Executive Advisory Committee. This team worked really hard to pull this summit together, and so I want to call them out by name. Josh Strickle, thank you very much. Wendy Howard, thank you very much. John Opper, thank you very much. Elijah Scott, thank you very much. Alexis Carlson, are you here? Yeah, thank you very much. Meredith Montgomery. Yes, praise to Meredith. She's not here, but hopefully she can hear this. Thank you very much, Meredith. Tom, too, thank you. Thank you very much. In addition to this Executive Advisory Committee, we've had a conference project team as well. So I want to call them on as well. Nicole Nichols, Mary Sanders, Cassandra Hyde, Bob Carnick, Rebecca Pappas, Mark Adams, Dana King, Lisa Riles. You all made this possible, and thank you. We appreciate it. We also had event crew, Wilhelmina Ringkey, Stephen Zanatti, and Sean Wilson and Chase. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And I want to leave out the hotel and the hotel staff. We appreciate the service that we've been given while we're here, the great hospitality, and thank you very much. To all of our keynote speakers, our Lunch and Learn panels, our faculty members who participated in this process, and to our vendors who spoke on this platform before you, I want to thank you, and we very much appreciate you. And for everybody who made it to the end, and for those who left before, thank you all. You have been awesome attendees. So I'm going to give you a round. Talk about some overarching themes that I kind of picked up and heard as the 2 days went on. So one of the things that we heard over and over is to start with clarity. It's kind of hard to begin if you don't know where you're going. So find that out. Identify your why. One of the faculty members stated, Kim said, I had to go back to that over and over again. I had to remember, what is that why? And so I would encourage you to define that why if you don't know already. Identify your why. Sharing is caring. We've said it over and over, but we have seen where OER then get locked down behind the learning management system. So I would encourage you to remind yourself and your faculty of this. Sharing is caring. And accessibility was a strong overarching theme throughout many of the sessions as well. This is a concern that we all share, and one that hopefully we can all work together to oops. And it was said just a little while ago, actually, in this event, we're all in education together, so let's work together. Okay, so some highlights or some hip things that I saw going on. So faculty frustrations are what is driving them to OER. They're frustrated in their current experience. Claire said, you know, if it's not working, set it on fire. So I would encourage you to blaze away. Lead an OER. This is another highlight that has been said over and over again. Start where you are. Do something. You have some knowledge, share it and express it. That's how growth happens. Another thing that came out, Wendy's group over doubled their resources. Our group came up with some really great resources. I'm sure Josh and Tom's group has as well. I haven't actually gone in and looked at the modules today. But I have seen that those are growing and that the resources are expanding there. And I would ask that you continue to add to those and develop that as the year goes on. One of the other things that we spoke about, or I spoke about with several of you, are icons or markings for OER, or low or no cost, in the course management system. I just want to repeat that if you're on Banner or PeopleSoft, it's really easy to add that as a class attribute field within your system. It does not require extra coding. So if you need librarians or technical people that have done that in Banner or PeopleSoft, please contact me and I can connect you with something. And then open pedagogy. This is maybe a new highlight for Florida. There weren't a lot of hands that went up at the beginning of this summit for people who had explored open pedagogy or had even heard about it. So I would encourage you to look at that highlight that was brought up and see, can you incorporate that into your workflow going forward into your courses? Is that a way that you can work with students to actually develop those OER? Time has been brought up again today, just this hour, that faculty need the time in order to make this. Can they work with their students in the courses to help develop these OER? And so now, I actually want to ask you guys, what are some remaining questions that you have? You've been here for 2 days. We've shared a lot. We've experienced a lot. But what questions are remaining? What didn't get answered?
Going back to the definitions, solid definitions of OER, open, no cost, low cost, because sometimes no cost is like no cost to the students, but cost to the library, but is that OER? Anyway, so solid definitions that everyone can agree on, or the majority can agree on, or at least the state.
My remaining question is more for how can I communicate this to my senior administrators, especially all the different initiatives which somehow overlap some parts, but some parts don't. So how does affordability counts interact with the OTN piece, interact with this other piece and this other piece? You know, a nice little cheat sheet, one-page thing that we can distribute to administrators would be great.
Just to piggyback out of Nicole, right, guys? Not only defining, I think, sort of the spectrum of affordable options, but I think also really working on our language around how do we map those to particular use cases and needs. Because I think at UF, we do all of these things, and it's sort of up to me in a lot of cases to sell all of them, even though I know slightly differently about some different options. But I think being able to say, like, this is the best way to go, if this is your pain point, like, what is your challenge and how can we solve it, would be really helpful. And I'm sure there are already some examples out there, but being able to map that out in some way.
already had a brief conversation about incentives, and the ugly piece behind that is oftentimes it takes money and none of us have it. So I think my question is, are there things that FLVC can help with to help maybe curate grant sources or advocate at the state level for Florida grants to maybe help with incentivizing faculty to do the hard part of actually building some of these OERs would help?
Related to that, but expanding upon it, my experience has been it's really easy sometimes to get a core group going, get them excited, get some early buy-in. I'm a little more worried about down the road, sustaining the momentum. I mean, how do you build in mechanisms? How do you institutionalize this? I mean, I think incentivizing is part of that, certainly, but I think it's even more than that. How do we keep it going? That's my remaining question.
I think we had maybe discussed this a little bit, is that some of our stuff is hidden behind like our institutional single sign-on, but like how to open it to all Florida institutions.
So this may not be a remaining question. This is my first meeting on OER, and my discipline was not represented here, and so I was wondering, is anyone doing anything with health, allied health, emergency medical services? Is anyone aware of any OER resources for those disciplines?
I was wondering how FLVC is going to be encouraging. Are you going to have a SWAT team we can invite to, the college to give, really fill in and make a professional type of, I guess, authority on the topic?
The answer for emergency medical services is, I don't know, but I'll look.
For health-related resources, I saw an article just this week that a grant had been awarded to 2 different colleges, and one of them was focused specifically on nursing OER resources.
Within 4 years.
For health-related career workforce information, I would suggest you go to Skills Commons if you haven't. Skills Commons is the big repository from the Department of Labor TACT grant, and health information systems and some of the allied health, including nursing aid and so forth, courses were developed. So it's a good repository to go to. It's a little hard to search, but there's some good information in there. I also worked with a college in Virginia, which has done a lot of work around health information systems. If you're looking for that, it's Lord Fairfax Community College, and I know the librarian who runs their repository, so happy to connect you.
This is a question related to that, and it's about accessibility or universal design. In the past year or so, I'm working with faculty who are developing accessible content, digital content. That has been a consistent issue that's come up. It's probably the single discipline that has the most issues with accessibility of online content. Whatever they design in terms of online labs, comes up, it's a constant roadblock about trying to make it accessible. So the more resources I think all of us can find that are related to those kinds of courses, the better. And as it relates to accessibility of the content at the same time.
My question is very general and almost rhetorical in that sense. I am an OER specialist where I am, and I got myself into this. I asked to be a part of it. But within that, I recognize that we are still, the academy, and we teach students to cast a critical eye. And my question is, how do I cast a critical eye on this topic of OER? How do I reconcile my own reservations without sounding like I am not on board? And how do I ask my questions in a way that is politically wise? And how do I get over my fear of that I'm being maybe politically unwise, that my questions might be seen as, that I'm not excited or that I'm being uncooperative, which isn't the case at all. But it would be nice to know somehow that whatever critical eye I'm casting is seen as useful and helpful in trying to move things forward in the spirit of the overall context in which I work every day.
So sort of in the context of the sharing is caring. So it is great that we want to put out share. I had mentioned it before, some of the courses that we built, and share those. But some people do need more hand-holding than others, and someone talked about the SWAT team. So, and I mentioned this to Rebel, but it would be nice if we developed a mechanism where those of us who have done this could visit colleges that are interested in it. Because what we have here is a preponderance of IT people, instructional designers, librarians. The number of faculty members was relatively small, but those are the people who are going to be implementing. Those are the people who need their handheld. And as much as we love the instructional designers and the IT people and the librarians, there's no one like the person who just did it. And so if we had a way to facilitate the people with experience visiting people who are hoping to get on board and sit with them for a day, a professional development day or that sort of thing, and help them get on board. We had Lumen do that for us, but Lumen doesn't have to do it for everyone. We now have people who have a level of expertise that they can get people on board and rolling, rather than them just having to explore their own.
Yeah, I told Jen, I said, I'm ready to create the list, and you'll be the first one on there.
We just need to figure out how it works. That's all.
So in an effort to piggyback off the sharing is caring, so my name is Cummings-Sauls, and I'm actually from Florida. I'm with the Technical College System of Georgia. We actually don't have a summit like this, so I'm super excited to be here and to have participated with everyone. I hope that you guys keep doing it, and I can continue to come, even though I'm kind of the outsider in the room.
You're welcome.
And so one thing I want to let you know to piggyback off of accessibility, I too, part of what I do is help faculty build their courses, but my role is sort of threefold. It's part Blackboard administrator, part accessibility trainer, and course developer, and part instructional design. So those of you who may be interested in the OpenStax text, I'll just give you a couple of tips if that's okay. So the OpenStax PDFs are not accessible, and we make all of our content accessible to the WCAG 2.1 AA standards, which is required. So I will say those PDFs are not accessible. Their online version of the text is accessible, And unfortunately, a lot of their PowerPoints are also not accessible or as accessible as we would like them to be. They don't quite meet the AA standards. I have gone in and retrofitted all of them to be accessible and meet the WCAG 2.0 AA standards. So I would be more than happy to share those. One thing that I think that we struggle with in the OER field is, and even more so in the accessibility world, is everyone reinventing the wheel and not quite being able to share in a community. It's like the OER people share and the accessibility people share, but never the twain shall meet. So if anybody is interested in using OpenStax, and I have cards, so if you'd like a card, I can certainly email you links to those accessible PowerPoints. I think we have 13 or so of the OpenStax textbooks, and it's mostly the common gen ed courses that we've done with a couple of sciences that we already have the PowerPoints made accessible. So that's one huge hurdle that takes forever to do that you can check off your list.
If you would like to put those links for...
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe if you'll just send it, we can include that.
Thanks to Nikki for sharing that from her Blackboard shells. Nikki's on my executive council, so she shared that widely with our community. So I just wanted to mention that California, I know that Josh and Robin know about this, but California has developed Canvas shells with the OpenStax textbooks for 30 of them, and they also converted the slides to be accessible. So check those out. They're in Canvas Commons, free to use. They're kind of a shell to start with, so that you get the basics of the OpenStax textbook divided into weekly modules.
I want to say we have one over here. Another question?
Since we have this Canvas shell, just hoping with where we're remaining, at least if we could leverage that. I know we don't have any access right now at all, but we put together a Google Doc, but everyone has resources within their institutions that they're using, OER or however, whatever they call it. But I don't know if we have visibility, into that. It's come up a couple of times. How do we make? I think it is a question of that. How do we make the visible stuff visible? And I don't know if Photoshop was in and of itself would be part of that, making that happen, but the Canvas shell could be a space where we can put content, documents, links to stuff at least, that we all have view access to at least, if we have that. Tom, I don't know who's going to follow. Maybe after that, so we're going to get the link or something to that. That would be, I don't know, interesting. I would definitely find some value in that, maybe everyone else would.
Yeah, I've encouraged our group, and I would encourage the other groups to continue to build. That was the purpose of bringing you all together. Was not so that you could just come together for 2 days, but so that you could make collaborations and partnerships and go from today and really develop those together. So.
Hi, I'm Paige Jersak from Lansing College. I just got an update with the Chronicle. The University of California system has canceled their Elsevier subscription. They're probably going to go in for open access. I think if we can get institutions who are willing to look beyond and try maybe different ways to incorporate information into courses, it would be useful. I think one of the things we've seen for our faculty is they tend to do negotiations with publishers one-on-one. And they may not have the training, they don't know to ask for a VPAT. They don't know to ask some of the questions. So maybe some additional training for our faculty, for the folks who select instructional materials would be really useful, and to try and get institutions to embrace maybe a larger scale move to change.
space, we can just have another stuff. I'm just tossing it down. I'll be the flag before I load it to the canvas shelf. Okay. Well, then looks like that is about it. So maybe at first you might want to say, you made a long list, right? But it also means that we have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of education and experience now that you're able to ask these questions and see where the next step is. And so I want to applaud you actually for that. So thank you. Okay, so yay, we're officially launching the statewide community for open and affordable learning in the state of Florida. We welcome anybody to join this community, whether you're a faculty member, administrator, a librarian, instructional designer. If you just have a passion for open and affordable learning for the state of Florida for our students and you want to help them succeed, we encourage you to join. You can go to the listserv. You can also go to libraries.flvc.org and in the community area select discussion listservs there. And you can join the open affordable. It's all the way at the bottom. We'll just keep scrolling in. We were the last ones added. So we're all the way at the end. But we welcome you all to join us and to be active in this community. This is where you can express ideas that you have. Concerns that you may share or may not share, questions. Are you looking for an OER resource? Let us know. Are you hosting an open textbook network workshop? Let us know. Are you going to publish a new open educational resource? This is a great way to let the community and Florida know what you're doing on your campuses. So Open Florida, and you probably can't see everything in the little O, so I'm going to hopefully pull it out for you. Our idea, talking to the community thus far, has given us, as some have said, a spectrum of open. And that's what we hope to kind of demonstrate here. This is the beginning image or logo, so don't hold me to anything. But we want to start with the most open resource as possible. And as you go around the O, the access and openness starts to close. So I'm just going to quickly run through these so in case you are having difficulty reading them. So we're going to start with public domain content that does not have any copyright any longer. And then we're going to move on over to Creative Commons licensing. These are ones that allow us and permit us certain rights through the license. We also want to consider open access content. This content may not or may be designated with copyright. Sometimes it's unclear, and so that's just an open access format. We also want to include copyrighted content, but that has no access barriers, so you will have to link out to that in many cases. You won't be able to incorporate it into the OER maybe itself, depends on the content. But that is something that can be used. Library resources. It's not that every single item in the library will be open or available to open, but my area helps to support the digital services throughout the state. There are several special collections and archives, hidden gems and treasures that we have across the state that can easily be brought into OER. We also have proprietary content, perpetual access content, where we purchase the rights to retain and reuse that. Education purposes, it'll depend on the licensing for some content, so other things like that will fall in as well. We also want to think about EDU permitted. So it may be still under copyright, but it would clearly say education use is permitted. OER is a great way to explore that use. And fair use. We want to encourage faculty, librarians, instructional designers to apply fair use, even in an open educational realm. And the last one is going to be the most closed, but it's going to be permitted by the copyright holder. So you found a resource, we're going to ask, can we include this in an open education resource? And we we've come to the end, but not really. So I'm going to kind of roll out a soft close now. You've learned a lot, you've listened to a lot. I want to ask before you leave that you take a moment, at least 1, 2, 5. We've given you a whole hour. I think you actually have an hour and a half now because we're a little early. But you're able to sit here in this space and concentrate on the ideas that you've adjusted. Make an action plan of what you're going to do. I request that you at least write down one thing. What are you going to do at least next week or in the next coming month, even in the next semester? At least one action item. What are you going to do? What are you going to take from today or yesterday and put to use on your campuses? And if you're here with other members of your college or university, I would encourage you to work apart and also together on this action plan. Think of something that you can do individually, but what is something as a group you guys can do to further this movement on your campus? So thank you all for attending. We appreciate you.